In the grim lore of China's past, a chilling tale unfolds, weaving fearsome imagery with deep-rooted cultural beliefs. Meet the Zhang, a ghastly specter that defied conventional notions of life and death, haunting the dreams of those who dared to tread the shadowy paths of its existence. Picture a gaunt and pallid corpse, seemingly drained of all vitality, yet shockingly animated with unnatural vigor. This macabre spectacle was not mere morbid fancy. It was a profound manifestation of a soul trapped between worlds, forever condemned to roam the earthly plane. But what gives rise to such a chilling spectacle? The Zhang, also known as the hopping vampire, emerged from the depths of ancient Chinese folklore, where death was not viewed as an endpoint, but rather as a gateway to a complex spiritual realm. It was a time when the veil separating the world of the living from that of the dead was believed to be delicate and permeable. Now let's embark on a journey back in time to the heart of ancient China, where Confucianism and Taoism held sway over the populace. These philosophies deeply influenced how death was perceived. Death was not simply the cessation of life, but a pivotal moment in a soul's journey. The intricate process of death and rebirth was believed to involve multiple stages and the migration of various souls within the body. As a result, death was treated with utmost solemnity. Funerary rituals were elaborate affairs aimed not just at honoring the deceased, but at ensuring their safe passage to the afterlife. However, amidst this rich tapestry of tradition, there existed a class of deaths that were considered problematic. Farmers and laborers who died on the job, soldiers killed in battle, and those who perished under unnatural circumstances like lightning strikes or serious illnesses were deemed to have souls that could become trapped within their earthly remains. Imagine the shock and fear that gripped communities when they discovered bodies displaying signs of this unholy animation. The Zhang was not your typical vampire. It did not prey on the warmth of living blood. Instead, it sought the essence of life, the vital energy known as qi. This energy was believed to permeate all living beings and was considered essential for sustaining health and vitality. It is this energy that the Zhang craved, draining it from its victims to sustain itself. Now, let's take a closer look at the Zhang's appearance. A grotesque yet unforgettable sight that continues to send shivers down our spines. Picture this, a corpse with an eerie greenish or bluish tint, a stark contrast to the pallor of death. Its skin hung loosely on its bones, giving it a horrifyingly desiccated appearance. Long finger and toenails protruded, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. Perhaps most disturbing of all was its eternal expression of terror, as if forever frozen in the throes of a mortal fright. This macabre visage was not merely a product of the creature's undead state. It reflected the cultural anxieties of a society grappling with the complexities of death and the unknown. Imagine strolling through a moonlit village path, the air thick with the scent of night-blooming flowers, when suddenly a commotion erupts from a nearby hut. You rush to the source of the disturbance and behold a horrifying sight. A corpse, bloated and decaying, is leaping and bounding through the night, its limbs stiff and jerky, its eyes glowing with a sinister light. Such was the terrifying spectacle of the Zhang in action. It would enter a home, usually through an open window or door, and then select a victim, often targeting the elderly or the ill. The Zhang would drain the life energy, or qi, from its victim, leaving them weak and emaciated. And as it feasted on its victim's qi, it would grow stronger, becoming more animated and vigorous itself. It wasn't just the physical toll on its victims that was horrific. It was the violation of the sanctity of the home and the intrusion of a creature from beyond the grave that truly instilled terror. As the Zhang gained strength, its movements became more pronounced, eventually transforming it into a horrifying parody of life. It would lunge towards its victims with unnatural speed, its long, sharp nails extended, ready to inflict injury and hasten their demise. The creature's strength was formidable, and it was said that no earthly chains or bindings could hold it. It was as though the laws of physics themselves were suspended in its presence. Now, let's delve into the methods employed by the brave souls who dared to confront these terrifying creatures. In the face of the Jiangshu's growing menace, the Chinese people turned to their rich spiritual heritage for guidance and protection. Traditional Chinese culture provided a robust set of tools and rituals designed to ward off evil spirits and malevolent entities. Foremost among these were the Taoist priests, individuals who had dedicated their lives to the study and practice of Taoism, one of China's major philosophical and religious traditions. When summoned by desperate villagers, these priests would arrive bearing scrolls containing potent incantations and talismans, adorned with intricate designs and imbued with spiritual power. The mere sight of these talismans was enough to send shivers down the spine of a Jiangshu, disrupting its horrifying leaps and forcing it to cower. But the priests did not limit themselves to mere displays of spiritual authority. They engaged in elaborate rituals, burning incense, lighting candles, and making offerings to deities and ancestors in an effort to purify the afflicted dwelling and expel the Jiangshu from the premises. These rituals were not mere symbolic acts. They were intense, dramatic performances designed to pierce the veil between the spiritual and material realms. Incantations were shouted, bells were clanged, and drums were beaten, creating a cacophony of sound meant to shake the very foundations of the supernatural world. The climax of these rituals was often the confrontation between the Taoist priest and the Jiangshu itself. With a final flourish, the priest would place a talisman on the forehead of the hopping vampire, effectively trapping its soul and preventing it from further harming the living. But the struggle against the Jiangshu was not solely waged with spiritual weapons. Villagers themselves played a crucial role in the battle against these monstrous intruders. They relied on a combination of practical measures and age-old customs designed to protect their homes and loved ones. Doors and windows were kept bolted and locked, not just as a precaution against human intruders, but now also against the possibility of a midnight visitation from a leaping corpse. Another important line of defense was the proper disposal of the dead. In close-knit communities, news of a potential Jiangshu outbreak would spread like wildfire, prompting immediate action. Corpses were quickly transported to their ancestral burial grounds, where elaborate funeral rites were performed. These ceremonies were not just about honoring the dead. They were about ensuring the safe passage of the soul and preventing it from becoming a restless, vengeful spirit. Furthermore, certain foods and scents were believed to have the power to ward off evil spirits. The pungent aroma of glutinous rice was said to be particularly effective in repelling the Jiangshu. Homes were often filled with the scent of this rice, either by cooking it or by placing sachets of it near entrances. It was as though an invisible barrier of protection was being created, keeping the Jiangshu at bay. The origin stories of the Jiangshu are as varied as the regions in which they are found. One widely believed explanation attributes their creation to lightning strikes. According to this belief, a person struck by lightning was not just physically affected, but spiritually as well. Their soul, upon returning to their body, becomes twisted and malevolent, turning the corpse into a Jiangshu. Another theory links the Jiangshu to improper burials. In a society that placed such high importance on respecting the dead, any deviation from proper burial rituals could have dire consequences. If the body of a loved one was not correctly prepared or buried in consecrated ground, their spirit could turn vengeful, leading to the horrifying emergence of a Jiangshu. Some believe that eating the wrong things can transform a corpse into a Jiangshu. For example, if someone ate the meat of a tiger or leopard, their soul could be trapped in their body and become an evil spirit. There are also beliefs that eating too much of a specific food, like pork, can lead to a similar fate. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Jiangshu is how its portrayal evolved over time. Initially, it was a creature to be feared, a harbinger of death and destruction. However, as centuries passed and the Jiangshi became a fixture in Chinese folklore, its image gradually shifted. It began to be depicted not only as a terrifying monster, but also as a comic figure, often portrayed in cartoons or comedic operas. This transformation was not a dilution of its power, but rather an indication of the changing times. As societies evolve, their myths and legends evolve with them, reflecting the shifting cultural landscape. The Jiangshi, with its ability to adapt and survive in changing environments, stands as a testament to the enduring nature of folklore and the human fascination with the macabre. So next time you find yourself alone in a dimly lit room, listening to the wind howling outside, remember the legend of the Jiangshi. Appreciate the rich tapestry of Chinese culture that gave rise to this terrifying tale, and marvel at the human imagination that conjured up one of the most unique monsters in all of folklore. If you enjoyed this journey into the chilling world of Chinese folklore, don't forget to show your support. Your engagement fuels our journey, allowing us to keep bringing these captivating tales to life. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the shadows where the Jiangshi may just be lurking.